Welcome to another episode of Love the Darts. This week I'm joined by Michael Bridge and Glen Durrant, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different because Glen is an absolutely huge Middlesbrough fan. So what we're going to do is he's going to pick his five-a-side team, kind of his favourite players, his Borough Legends, who are going to be playing against some PDC stars. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds really good. I had to be really careful when I did this because I was home and away 1986 to 1989. So I was literally was playing billiards at the time, which is quite what most Teesside done them days, and then would travel across to wherever Borough were playing then. So I had to be careful that the five-a-side weren't all part of that. So my opening goalkeeper for Middlesbrough was a tough one because Stephen Pears was an unbelievable goalkeeper in them days. But we had some fantastic times with Middlesbrough roundabout when Gareth Southgate was managing us, and our goalkeeper then was Mark Swartzer. And for me, he gets the vote.
The nod, yeah.
So I'm very sorry to Stephen Pears because it does feel like I stood behind the goal behind him so many times, but Swartzer for me.
Yeah. And what about your professional dart player in goal then? How sort of tactical have you gone with this?
I've gone very tactical, thinking it's a five-a-side game, so it's not the biggest of goals in five-a-side. So I went for Nathan Aspinall, who once famously had trials with Man United as a goalkeeper as well. So, I think he still looks very trim. So I think it was quite a straightforward answer for the goalkeeper. So
right.
Nathan Aspinall gets the nod.
Talk us through your Borough defence.
Well, I had so many to choose from, and just the one centre defender we went for in the five-a-side game. And look, we've had some brilliant defenders. Gareth Southgate, Ugo Ekihog was a fantastic partnership for us. But again, I had to go back to the 86 to 88 days. And the best centre-half duo we ever had was the Sunderland manager right now by the name of Tony Mowbray and Gary Pallister, a young Gary Pallister, who was absolutely sensational before he joined Man United for 2.3 million, which seems an incredible amount. But he was the best defender I ever seen at Ayresome Park. So for me, Gary Pallister was the
What about the PDC side?
Well, I like my centre halves to be big, strong. So I went for.
Where are we going with this?
So I went for Boris Kritschmar. I think if you're going to get by Boris, it's going to be difficult. So yeah, big Boris.
What do you make of the team so far?
Yeah, I'm just remembering, really good era for Middlesbrough. Sort of Brian Robson, when he was introduced with his jacket on and he was player manager, so he had shorts and socks on as well.
It's true.
With the introduction, and it was obviously a great time for you. Then you had the UEFA Cup final under Gareth Southgate, so it's incredible the names you're about to be mentioning as well. But yeah, I'm just trying to think in my head, Emma, like other PDC players who can play a bit of football. I mean, I know our staff team, we all play sort of a bit of five-a-side sometimes. In the
you say our, I mean I don't, but
well, Mark Webster does. He loves it.
Yeah, Webby does.
So,
yeah,
but good start there, and it's really interesting to hear about Nathan Aspinall having trials at Man United.
Yeah, I think they did say at the time, didn't they, that he was too small?
Yeah, and again, if it had been an 11-a-side pitch, I might have gone for someone a little bit. A bit like my centre half.
What about midfield then?
So for me, you need a good engine in midfield, and my favourite all-time Middlesbrough player was a guy called Gary Hamilton. He didn't have a very long career, and he did everything wrong. He was the little fat lad in the middle, but I absolutely adored him. He's now living in America. I think he's coaching young players over there. He was just the best. And when I won my first Lakeside, I was able to take the trophy against Huddersfield. And it was on the halftime pitch. And all of a sudden, I have all these Middlesbrough legends in front of me, parted to shake the hands. And I seen Gary Hamilton. And I was like a kid, and the legs started shaking. So the sole reason I went for Gary Hamilton, though, is to man-mark the next player.
Ooh.
The player. So I even went tactical.
Ooh.
Because the runner for the PDC is Chris Dobie.
Oh.
So what I said to Gary Hamilton is, rip him to shreds. Black and blue. Beat him up. Hurt him. So that's the reason. Because I would have gone for it. Because Chris Dobie played for Bedlington. He was a good player. But he's getting a bit fat-faced now, isn't he? He's going the wrong way as Chris Dobie.
It's all those Newcastle away trips, Glenn, for
Exactly,
Dobie, isn't it? Yeah.
But joking aside, he was a great footballer, Chris Dobie. Very good footballer. So, yeah, that's the reason I went for them too.
Right. Talking of decent footballers, have you got Joe Cullen in your PDC team? That's what we want to know.
Absolutely. And he is an unbelievable player.
Yeah.
I've seen him play. He can score goals. So, alongside Chris Dobie, in the middle there would be Joe Cullen, stroke captain.
Oh,
So
Cullen captain, is it? And Gary Hamilton Hamilton, I assume.
Gary Hamilton is captain
for
because,
Borough.
but his sole thing is the job on Chris Dobie. But Joe Cullen is a brilliant five-a-side player.
Right, who else have we got in your Borough side?
So the greatest of all time for Middlesbrough is Juninho. He was so special, and I reckon on a five-a-side pitch, he would pick the ball up from the keeper and just dribble rings around everyone. He was unbelievable for the area. He was unbelievable footballer. And when we did a research on something, I think everyone had voted for the greatest Middlesbrough player was Juninho, so he had to be in.
Can't argue with that.
No, I mean, it's bringing me back to the days of Middlesbrough and those names, and I know you're going to mention another massive name in a minute. I mean, what was it like as a fan then in the late 90s having these players? I mean, it wasn't just Middlesbrough, but it's usually the northern clubs would say, oh, you're going to go to London clubs and blah, blah, blah. But, ended up in Middlesbrough, Ayresome Park at the time, Riverside after that. I mean, it must have been incredible.
It was trying to build a team around him because we had the players who were never going to get the headlines like the Nigel Pearsons of this world. And all of a sudden up front, we had this sensational player. And at times it felt like just give the ball to Juninho. We had Adama Traore once where literally we were a one-man team. Just give it to him, see if he can burst through them all. Juninho was that good. We just didn't really build enough. Bambi we had as well, so ex-Spurs. So, he was the best player. He was unbelievable to watch.
Bridgie mentioned your fifth player. Who have you picked?
Well, I went for Ravanelli, but it was a real coin toss. I've done it again, coin toss. I don't do that on purpose.
I do it as well.
Yeah, I don't do that on purpose, but this time I did. I went for Ravanelli over Bernie Slaven.
Yep.
That might not be a name to you, Bernie Slaven, but Bernie Slaven was unbelievable. And when Sky did the Legends five-a-side, Bernie Slaven was still as good as ever. So it really was a 50-50. But Ravanelli, just because of the name, and again, he was unbelievable.
I remember when you got relegated and he stayed, didn't he, for a period of time in the Division 1 at the time, and it just looked ridiculous that he had the Nationwide League badges on the side and thinking, what on earth are you doing?
I mean, loyalty is great, and so is 400 grand a week.
Yeah.
So you decide which one.
Oh, and who's up front for the PDC?
It had to be Gerwyn Price, and that was purely because of what he did on Soccer AM, where he chipped in, he smashed them in, and I just think a team with Gerwyn Price in is going to be a tough one to beat. Him and Boris in the same side.
Oh, wow.
I don't fancy the Borough Legends.
I'm surprised actually didn't make Gezi captain, to be honest. I can't imagine Joe wanting the captaincy if Gezi's there.
Yeah, best player I went for, and I thought that was the reason behind that. But a team of Gezi in there smashing the goals, and he'll take the glory.
Yeah. Any other dart players that you would have put in, by the way?
Well, there's great reasons all round. I think Josh Rock could possibly play. I know he loves his football, and a lot of the Irish boys, they're just good at a lot of sports. So I wouldn't be surprised that he can kick a ball.
There was one player. But I couldn't persuade Peter Wright to come because he didn't know what boots to wear. He wanted to change. He wanted to change them at half time, and
didn't know what position he wanted to play.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few of the Dutch lads who can kick it as well. But I like that team Glen's put out there. It might be something. It might be something on this going.
It might be.
No, maybe PDC v some of the snooker boys or the 9-ball.
Well, I know Ravanelli's looking for work, so...
Yeah.
Well, let us know what you make of Glen's five-a-side PDC side. You can also let us know what you make of his Borough Legends as well. Just write your comments in that comment section below. And as always, make sure you are subscribed to the Sky Sports Darts YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.